rapping for myself and my family. There's no way that this is real, man, it can't be.
How's it going, everybody, and welcome back to Modify Your Life podcast, where I'm your host, Anthony Lopez, with my co-host, Modified Frankie. And here on Modify Your Life, we talk about modifying your life mentally, physically, emotionally, financially, and spiritually. Mm-hmm. How long has it been?
Too long. We got told.
Yeah.
Repeatedly, it's been too long. Sorry.
By myself, too.
Yeah.
I've been feeling it. But you know what? I don't know. I really can't say it. I'm just going to say that I'm human. You're human. We went through a lot. We've gotten so much closer over the last couple months, from your surgery to
healing,
healing to actual healing, other healings from, cut out a lot of people.
Just crazy family dynamics.
This is, if I'm going to do a podcast, I'm going to talk about what I want.
Okay.
What's his name? Leo with Giuseppe. What's
Skeppy.
Skeppy?
Oh, we love him.
I love him. And you know what? Honestly, following him and just hearing his stuff and how he talks, like, he just talks his talk. Mm-hmm. And he doesn't.
He's unapologetic.
Yeah. And if I'm going to move forward with this podcast, that's what I want to be. I want to be unapologetic. I want to talk about the truth. I want to bring proper value to people. Mm-hmm. And I don't just want to have a conversation. I want them to learn.
Okay.
Right? And this is what we're doing right now. We're literally in the process of learning. We've learned how to be adults. We've learned how to have a healthy relationship because we're not born in healthy relationships.
And also relearn over and over. Sometimes it doesn't take just one time to learn something, unfortunately. But it comes with growth.
It does. And I'm going to be 100% blunt. And I'm going to talk to anyone that is out there that is in the middle of this growth journey. You're not crazy. You all grow people.
And it hurts.
And it sucks because you feel like an asshole for becoming better, and they make you feel like an asshole for being better.
For changing.
But the person that you wanted to change from was a person you never felt good being. Mm-hmm. And I think that just we get caught up in this moment of, well, they're like that, so I have to be like that. Well, I seen this, so this is how it must be. And that's not what we want for ourselves. And we've had to realize that. And we've had to realize that over the last couple of months that there's certain people who we love, but I don't want to be like you. Mm-hmm. I don't. I really don't. There's certain people in my group right now I want to be like. And there's certain people in my family who I don't want to be like. And
everyone serves their purpose, but they don't have to consume your life. And you have to stop pouring into other cups and neglecting your own.
100%. I'm taking my earrings off because these things are freaking hurting my ear like crazy. But at the end of the day, it's this, this weight loss journey is more than what we signed up for. This has been the craziest.
It's not just weight loss.
It's not.
That's the tip of the iceberg.
It's more than just weight loss. It's a whole entire lifestyle change. Mm-hmm. It's literally remolding who you are as a person. And someone's like, oh, well, I just want to, lose weight. It's not just weight loss, because you forget that there's people in your circle, there's people in your life, there's people in your family who feed off of you being fat and unhappy. And when you become
that's crazy.
Unfat, when you unfat yourself and you become happy, it fucking pisses people off. And if I'm going to keep my content not vulgar on social media, then my podcast is where I'm gonna let loose, okay. and I'm gonna be. This is gonna be a whole. Nah, I hate like those people. Like I seen this one post. This one person was like, "This is a new version of me when the night closes." This is not that weird shit. Shut up. But what I'm saying though is this:
it's a little unfiltered.
It's gonna be more unfiltered. Mm-hmm. We're all adults here. I don't think there's kids listening to podcasts, and there are kids listening to podcasts. Shout out to you for winning. But this is real life stuff, and what me and Frankie have been through over the last, we'll say, year. Mm-hmm. We didn't sign up for it, but I would do it again. Yeah. I've been freaking called the N-word. I've been let down by people who I've let in my house. I've been talked about by people who I've trusted. Mm-hmm. I've been hurt by people who I've trusted the most. And I didn't sign up for this. I literally did not sign up for this. I didn't know that me becoming better was going to affect. So I thought there were only people affected on social media that were just haters. I didn't realize they're in my circle. I didn't realize they're in my pond. I didn't realize there's eating on my table.
That's the craziest part.
Yes, it is a crazy part. Because at the end of the day, when we die, right? Our house, our cars, our Rolex,
Our
possessions, things are not ours anymore. Our heavy modified brand, our nonprofit, our everything that we've built.
Spoiler alert, nonprofit.
Right. And spoiler alert, nonprofit. The lives we've touched, we can't take with us. So the people that are in our circle, the people that we love the most is what we do it for, because we don't have kids. And you think me and you came in realization that we possibly not be able to have kids the rest of our life.
Yep. If it doesn't happen this year, then we're going to be cool and content and still fulfilled just being the cool aunt and uncle.
I'm okay with that. But our family's who we work hard for. Our family's who we want to bring ourselves up for. The families who we wanted to impress. We wanted to show them that you don't have to be X, Y, and Z because you grew up seeing X, Y, and Z.
You don't have to fit the mold.
Exactly. And it blew up in our face. It 100% blew up in our face, and that shit hurt. It hurt bad. It hurt deep. But I'd rather it happen now because we're just at the tip of the iceberg of what
I'm
we're
glad
gonna
it hurts
do.
now and not later.
I'm glad that we didn't let people at our table longer than it needed to be. And I think that all the situation we've been through, at the end of the day, we had to go through. It just, I didn't sign up for it. You know what I mean? Like I just wanted to lose weight and not be suicidal. I wanted to not be unhappy. I wanted to be a better man for you. I wanted my mom not to call me at 6 a.m, 7 a.m, make sure someone was up. Like, that's all I wanted. I didn't sign up for all this other shit. I'm blessed and I'm grateful. But fuck.
And it's amazing, but it's from one perspective, it sucks because as much as we cheer on everyone's small and big wins, like we're not getting the same.
No.
But I've had to recently learn that it's okay, and it doesn't mean that I'm not gonna love you. It just means that I'm not gonna have you be part of my life, because I realize like I'm very, very, very happy in my life in this moment. And you're taking from that. And I can't allow that. So I want to love you. And I want everyone that, friends, family, whatever, that have done us wrong in some way, shape, or form. I want you to win. I just don't want to be part of it.
I don't want you on
I
my
don't
table.
want your demise or anything. I just want to live and let live.
Yeah. You know, and it does suck because, you know, I feel like over the last couple months, we definitely became jaded with people, and not my clients. I love my clients. We're not talking about clients at all. We're just talking about our behind the scenes stuff that, you know, people don't know that people go through. And now
we have to show up every day online with a smile. Like, everything's fine.
Every day. Like, I didn't have to hear someone throwing out the N words for 10 minutes straight. Every single day. Like, I didn't have to deal with.
The day of my surgery.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And all this other stuff. But at the end of the day, though, it makes us stronger and allows us to come on here in this podcast and share that you're not the bad person for becoming better. You're just a better person for becoming better.
You're just a bad person in someone else's story because you need to be the bad person in their story, and that's okay.
No, well, every single loser needs a villain.
True.
You know? And at the end of the day, if I'm going to be the villain for becoming better, if I'm going to be the villain for, you know, continuing to be a good, positive person, as much as possible, I have my flaws. I'm not perfect.
Same.
But at the end of the day, if we're going to be villains and villainized for it, well, then sit here and continue to watch us win, because no one that we've had problems with, no one who's wished bad upon us, I wouldn't want to change my life with. Not one person.
No.
Honestly, I would be disgusted if I had to change my life with any of them. And it's not me being a hater. That's just me simply saying this. I would never want to change my life with someone who has never accomplished anything. And I will never take advice. I will never be hurt. I will never feel less than from someone who is literally borderline loser. And I've had to learn that the hard way, because the way my mom raised me is to respect and love and to nurture, cater every single person in your life, especially family. But unfortunately, family is no longer family. Unfortunately, family is not the same definition of family was 10, 20, 30 years ago.
Yeah, it's not the tie that you assume that you have. So really, we say all that to say this, like, when you are bettering yourself when it comes to your health, your fitness, your finances, especially if you are doing something different than whoever you grew up with, whether it be friends or family, if it looks different than whatever they're doing, you have to be okay with not having real support because they don't understand it.
That's what
and
it
they
is.
won't ever understand it. And again, it doesn't mean that they never loved you or whatever. It just means that you outgrew whatever they thought that you could do. So now anything that you do differently than that, now you're wrong. Now you're the villain, and that's okay. You're not there to change their opinion. It's just time for you to focus on yourself because you outgrew whatever that was.
It's selfish season now. Selfish season now.
True.
And if being selfish entails us working ourselves together, and I've watched you over the last couple of months have confidence that like I'm not gonna say that I never thought was capable of you, because that's setting a roof, setting like a ceiling, glass ceiling.
Yeah.
But I'm
Like
gonna
a
say
limit.
that I was like, holy crap, the confidence wearing a 2-piece at the river.
Oh, also, if you don't follow me on social media, since the last time I was on here on this couch, I've had not weight loss surgery, skin removal surgery. So I look a little different.
Yeah, and you're
And
still bloated.
I'm
you still
swollen. Yeah,
swollen.
like even my arms are way more swollen than even before I had surgery because my arms are naturally really small. So yeah, all this already looks better than before surgery, but it's only going to get better.
It's absolutely insane. And you know what's crazy? It's like the confidence in yourself, the confidence in a relationship, like the confidence just like it generally just bleeds through, right? To the point where I feel like you're talking even more on this podcast. That's one thing we would always get off this podcast. And people out there, listen and comment. Frankie needs to talk more, right? And I'm calling that out because she has a lot to share, but she's so used to letting me lead. And when we're both on a podcast together, we're both leading. She's going to be in the front and I'm going to support her back here. And then I'm going to be in the front. She's going to support me back there. So it's like you now the confidence, and I'm calling you out on the podcast so everyone hears it. So when you start talking more, they're like, oh wait, she's doing it.
Yeah.
Because
I've gotten it also in our real life outside of social media that I'm quiet. But the thing is, you're like, well, you're not even quiet, right? Like you don't think that.
You don't stop talking.
But the thing is, I don't need to just talk to talk. I'm going to speak up when I need to or when I feel like I need to. So for the most, remember one time you're like, I forgot what we were talking about, but you're like, hey, like, why aren't you adding to it? Or you're just agreeing to it. I'm like, because I agree. I'm not going to echo. I'm just like, yeah, I'm down. You're like, oh, but what do you think? I'm like, no, you're good. And then he's like, oh, but I'm like, if I had a different opinion, I'm going to state it.
That's true. But I think what I'm more looking for is like, even though we both may agree, we don't agree maybe on everything, or you have the same, another way to explain why you agree with something. Right? Like you have another set of eyes. Like, yes, we are one, like hands down, me and you, like we have our own lingo damn we're together. Right? But at the same time though, it's like, it is cool to get a girl's other side of a girl's, input on it, or a girl's, how your side of it, a lady's input on it, about the skin removal surgery. The skin removal surgery didn't bring confidence to me. It just was a burden being gone, and I know it was a burden, but for you, it brought confidence.
I feel like it changed everything for me.
It 100% changed everything.
Because although like we were dealing with...
I've never seen you in a 2-piece.
I
was like, damn.
With a lot of like personal issues, like literally smack in the middle of the day of my surgery.
That's God just, and we've started to go to church a little bit more. And we're working on getting better. But we know that whole time that it was going on, I wasn't mad. I was more sad for you because like that was your time. Like I feel like everything has been about me and my self-development and me growing the brand and you helping behind the scenes, where this was like your time to be first. And I was like,
but I think what people don't realize, and sometimes you don't either, me being selfless and cushioning your steps and doing everything to grow you and have you to modified, I have an agenda. There's a reason why. One, you're my partner, and the other thing is my focus was to make sure that I can help you as much as I possibly could and know how, because I want a soft life. So it required years of sacrifice on my end. It required, well, both of us, but specifically it seemed like for me, right? When I would sleep maybe 2 hours before feeding 600 people tacos on our events, and the meal prep company, and helping you with all of the heavy to modify stuff, even though technically, yes, it is your brand and you're known for it. I put in all that footwork because I have a soft life now that I don't technically, if I don't want to, I don't have to do a thing.
No.
I do a lot, but it's because I want to and because I enjoy it.
Yeah, because you love working. We love our clients, and you love helping the brand. And you now, I now tasked you with a whole another thing to start a nonprofit. And like you've only done a little bit of work because we did go on vacation, and we both know that we needed that. But the work you were putting in right before we left, it was like I was looking at you one day, and you were just like ChatGPT and everything, your little best friend, right? And I was like so fucking proud. I was like, damn. I was like, because you know what though, like a year ago, that you wouldn't have done it. You would have stumbled and fell, and I would have to keep picking you up. And that was like one of my biggest stresses of being in a relationship while becoming a new version of myself, is like I felt like I had to go 10 steps, and then I had to go 10 steps to pick you up and then bring you back. Now I'm going 20 steps.
And that was you laying the groundwork for me.
Yeah. And
there was a give and take. It just looked different.
You know what it reminds me of?
What?
You know what's his name? Outdoorsman.
Right? Outdoor boys.
You know, like how he would go and he would put the steps in the thing, and then he would walk up with his camera. Not his camera. He would walk up with his whatever he had, all his equipment he had in there, just make pack down the steps.
Yeah.
That's what I felt, and now that's what I feel like that. But it's a good thing now. Before it was like I was going.
I can understand that
20
it was
steps
frustrating.
forward, and then coming back 20 steps. Now I'm going 20 steps forward. I'm going back 5 because you're like we're paving the way, and then sometimes you need a little bit of help. Like I need a little help. Like
vice versa.
Exactly. You know what I mean?
The thing is, we're going back and forth, helping each other for the same fucking thing.
Also, too, there's no blueprint to this shit. Like, yes, there's a blueprint of doing the right thing, working hard, but like, there's no blueprint of like for just a crazy thing today, right? Check this out.
What?
You know how I was fired up today, right? Came back. There's 9 freaking payment errors. The clients are gaining weight. They're some right, just whatever it is, right? It was a dumpster fire.
It could have been one, and we would have highlighted that. On top of that,
for my business owners, you know, you're gone on vacation. You feel like the world's gonna end. Your business is going to crap, right? This is how it is, right? But hear me out. So I was literally like, no, forget that. The next 2 years, I'm locking in. I'm not doing. Don't invite me nowhere. And then I hear Andy Frisello, someone I look up to, I hold up on a pedestal, right? He's like, learn. He's like, learn from me. He's like, you don't have to say no to every party. You don't have to say, but you do have to continue to stay locked in, regardless on the outside noise. And then you go enjoy yourself, but you don't have to say. I'm like, wait, hold on. I was just thinking that I'm doing too much.
We just canceled.
I just canceled a Vegas trip, and whatever it might be. And then I'm here, but you know what though?
What?
I know what, and I'm just like, I'm coming to my head right now. I know I told you to talk more, but hold on, hear me out. I'm getting somewhere. And I'm coming to a realization right now while we're on this podcast, is that it's not that we're doing too much that made me feel guilty, because we worked hard to be able to do this stuff. But I think what got to me is that we didn't work for like an hour or 2 every single day like we normally did, because I tried to disconnect, and I don't think I could ever do that. And that's what it is. And I was trying something new. Yeah. And I think that mentally I need to work for a couple hours a day, even if it's waking up at 6 a.m., going to do my meditation, answer a couple of things, do a couple of text messages, maybe 2 or 3 Zoom calls, and then being done. But that's how my brain works, because I know that there's a balance, but I feel like I am terrified to be the person that loses balance and loses discipline. And while I was on vacation the last 3 days, I felt disgusting. And not that I didn't have a good time, I just felt like I was a person that had no balance. Now, we didn't eat fast food.
I was just thinking,
I did go to the gym, but I think I'm evolved into like eating fast food is not ever my thing anymore.
That's not a hooray, good for you, gold star.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just, that's what you
Going
have to do.
Going to the gym on vacation is not my gold star anymore.
It's a standard.
Maybe now it's me working a couple hours while everyone's sleeping. Like maybe
so you're elevating there.
Yeah, exactly. I'm having an epiphany right now on our podcast, and maybe my brain is mentally ready to elevate, because I have became a better person over the last couple of months. I've had to let go of a lot of things. I've had to let go of a lot of anger issues. I've had to let go of a lot of baggage. And I feel like I've overcame a lot of battles that people don't even know that I was fighting along with you. But I feel like maybe that was God testing me this last couple of months before he allowed me to react. And I think now he's allowed my brain to level up a little bit more. And for people out there not religious, you think I'm crazy, that's totally fine.
Whatever you believe in, it's all valid.
But at the end of the day, the universe makes you work for shit. And the universe will take it away a lot faster than it took you to build it. And I think that's my biggest fear. And I think that's my epiphany that I have right now, is that maybe it wasn't that we're out for so long. It was the fact that I didn't get a couple hours of work in. I knew there were things I could do. I didn't implement what I preach. Not the gym. The gym is normal. I'm talking about the other things.
Yeah.
Right? Didn't make content while I was out there. Didn't post while I was out there. You know what I mean? So there's some things that I was like, oh, hold on. You know what I mean? And maybe that's what it was. Maybe that's why I felt disgusting, because I was losing my structure, and a person with no structure is a loser. Sorry. That was a lot. That was epiphany right there. I hope you guys got that. Clip that, chat.
What I will say is that you're not a fucking robot.
You remind me of that.
I agree with you on how you felt, just because your mind is crazy, right? And you can do all things, and you can. But sometimes you do need to not reconnect. You need to just like leave the chat for a second and be yourself. Yeah. And that is why we are bringing people along on the team to help remove some of the load from you, because it's not that you can't do it. Obviously you can, because you have been for so long. But now that we have Jay, for example, our editor, she can take the small, however you see it as, oh, it's just editing, it's just posting. But it's still time off of your day where you could focus on your one extra Zoom call, or your one extra, how you like to watch your videos in the morning.
My routine is again,
Like
also too,
you're buying back your routine is what I'm saying.
Also too, let's not forget, it's not just Jay, it's you. Right? Because now I've tasked you with a lot of stuff, and we caught myself a couple times. I asked you to do it, and like today, I asked you to sweep. You're moving too slow. I started to sweep, and I'm catching on to like
another one
I
today,
just don't what I do again.
You're like, hey babe, you're like the missed payments. I'm like, yeah, I got you. I was like, I'm gonna do these things first, and I gave you the info, right? And then I hear you calling people, and I'm like, so
you know what? I'm getting better. And you know, it's nothing against you. I trust you with
your little brain.
Everything.
Yeah.
First off, it ain't little. Okay. Chill.
Your teeny
I've been
little
tested.
Brain. No.
But
I
what
know
it
what
is,
I'm saying
though,
is I understand your brain, how it works. That I know that if you're asking me something, it's like you wanted it done 10 minutes ago, unrealistically, and you know that's unrealistic. So you're like, let me help you. But either way, you're still doing it yourself. Yeah.
And I need to get better at that. I'm not a robot. I'm a human being. Like, I realize that life coaches and therapists,
you guys need a second too.
Exactly. And I have a client. She's a therapist. I'm not a therapist. I'm just a life coach and a weight loss coach and life coach. And she told me that sometimes she just took days off and canceled all her calls. And I used to think like,
you can't do that. Like, your clients are, but you know what I'm thinking? If I worked my ass off those 90 days straight, that one day my client should be okay. Mm-hmm. But I get scared of, for some of you that don't know this, and if you're not a recovering drug addict or alcoholic, or you've never been to AA, you probably won't know this. But what I've realized, and a client actually told me, is that I'm addicted to more. Mm-hmm. That's a thing.
It's a thing to be addicted to more. And I love that I'm addicted to more, but it's the most dangerous thing to be addicted to more. Mm-hmm. Because some people will go until they get their fix and they're done. I always wanted more. Mm-hmm. I wanted more food. I wanted more alcohol.
More fun.
I wanted more fun. I wanted more this.
A faster car.
A faster faster jet ski, a more expensive truck.
Yeah.
And now it's worked to my advantage because I want more.
And
that means I want to help more.
Something else,
and
right?
we went to go get an apartment. Well, hopefully, God willing, we get the apartment. But
we applied.
And I want more. So it's a blessing, but it is definitely a curse if it's not watched correctly. I want my clients to win more. I want to do more as a coach. Like, you think the more is good.
Yeah.
But when it comes into like this comfortable lifestyle, which I think I've lived for way too long in this over the last couple months, and you may see different, but I'm just saying what I see. Mm-hmm. I'm glad that you could also point out that I'm not a robot, but remember, we don't want to lose why this small little brain got us where we're at today, because I'm crazy. And I will do something and I will throw shit at a wall until it sticks. And then when it sticks, I will do the math and see why it sticked. And I will keep doing it until it doesn't stick. Mm-hmm. And then I'll throw more shit at a wall. Now, I know I'm a lunatic, but I feel like that's like my ADHD and being dyslexic is my superpower.
It's 100% your superpower.
And I can't
but
lose focus
I use your
on
superpower to my advantage. Like, how there's a good reason why we haven't gotten into our own space yet, because we're helping other family members, XYZ, right? And we should have let just things be what they are. But then I knew I can't bring that to you right now. You need to see that by yourself of like, okay, this is affecting my routine.
It's, the same thing happened when we moved to Vegas.
Like, now we got to go. I'm like, oh, really?
Oh, really? Oh, that's what I do with my
I'm
clients.
okay.
I
let's
corner
do
them
it.
into saying what I want them to do. I get it. I know what you. I know
But
what
I
you did
need to
against
let
me.
you come to it.
But I think it stems from being the oldest child.
Same.
And always like having like to have the answer. Like, think about it.
You feel a responsibility, kind
to-
of like a parent, even though you're not a parent.
No, like a parent. Like I literally no. Like
I was
no.
trying to give grace.
No. I do, because like even like when you were on a jet ski or you ride a dirt bike, I feel like, oh my God, what if she gets hurt? Or when you're in surgery, I was having look at the vlog. Like you can see in my eyes, I was like freaking terrified. And I've had I've had like 20 surgeries in my life.
Yeah.
I've been asleep 20 times. Not once did I care about dying. But when you go to oh my God, death was an option, right? But I think, and I think I'm kind of like, there's a lot that I'm learning. Like I've never been the cool person. I've been the fake cool person because I had cool things, but no one ever wanted to train life with AJ, right? No, fat AJ. So I'm being the actual someone who people look up to. I'm also becoming a person who some girls are attracted to. I'm also becoming the person that has built a name, which is should be every man's goal in life, to build something of their last name. I'm also becoming the person who is literally taking care of his girlfriend, retired his girlfriend, and wants to continue to give her best life. I'm also the older brother that my little brother and sisters could look up to and be like, damn, look at my brother. I'm so proud of him. Like, I'm like, it's all new. This is not 2020. I wasn't this person. I was a fucking fat loser. I'm sorry. I was a fat loser. I couldn't see my dick. I don't know why you stayed with me, but you played the long game and won.
I can kind of see it.
But and now I'm just like fucking like hopping in this character of like, abs and this and muscles and stringers, even with all the loose skin.
This needs to be its own podcast because we've talked about this before.
No, I want to be on this one. Let's keep going.
Okay. So we both, and I'm barely going to start getting it now, but we both have lived our life, both actually the oldest child. I think just naturally we just have so much pressure to take care, whatever, and you put everyone else first. Sometimes you're not even asked of it, but you just do it because if you put someone else first, you can't take care of yourself, right?
But then what I do it now when I've already accomplished so much shit.
It's just
like
a chip on our shoulder.
Stuck in my DNA.
But so our whole life, right? I was never morbidly obese, but I was chubby, but I never had the body type that could take a pound of being overweight. So we were.
She was top heavy.
Yeah. So we pretty much grew up as children and then into our adult life being just there.
The options.
It was.
Or no, the third and fourth option. Sorry, not the option. Well, the options.
It was the secure choice because we will never say no, right? And we were picked. We never picked.
Okay. I like that.
So we both went through that.
You said that because there's so many people in this weight loss journey and on the social media. It's like, I got any guy I want. No, you didn't. You got the guy who picked you at 3 a.m. because all the other girls didn't answer the phone, and vice versa. We were
someone's, maybe not exactly dirty little secret, but we were someone that was sure to show up for you. Also, if somebody were to pick us, we're like, oh yeah, I like you because you like me. It wasn't like, oh, I am attracted to you, so I'm going to go after you and I'm going to get you. It was like, oh, you like me? Okay, I'll like you too. Because our options were limited.
Yeah. And no one wants to talk about. No one likes to be honest about that.
It's not like a sad song. That's what it was. But the thing is, like, in the more recent times, like...
Hey, I've seen those old guys looking at you at the casino. I was about to fight one of these motherfuckers.
So now we have unlocked like this new thing where I don't even know what to call it. As time goes by, I'll probably know how to explain it better. But pretty much we barely made it to general population. Now we got access in life as VIP, where like you can now have the pick of the litter, whether it be because of your looks, your income, what you have, whatever. But you're a cool guy now by any standard.
Yay.
So now I'm also getting that
pretty girl privilege.
So I'm also getting a similar treatment where it's like, oh wait, like then we also have to think about like us in a relationship. Like, well, we're happy that we found each other when we did, but are we going to continue to choose each other? Because now we have all of these like infinite options, right?
Yeah.
I'm not saying they're better, worse, whatever, but it's like, are we still cool? Are we still locked in? Are we still soulmates?
Are we still meant for each other?
Because you have to check in, because maybe it's not. Maybe it was like, what if like you lost weight and I lost some weight, and you're like I'm good here, but you're like, hey, but I want more in life, and I'm just
well,
like,
that's where we were going for a second.
Yeah.
We got
so
together.
there was a time where we had to, there's been plenty of times, and some we have shared already, where we had to reevaluate where we're going, because we never ever question like, do we love each other? It was like, do we want the same things anymore?
I've always said if we
do
broke
we fit
up
together?
I would always know my person. Do we fit? Now we do. I always said if we were to break up, you would be my person, and everyone else would just be someone I loved. Like you know when you have your person, 'cause like you think
Like
about
you
like,
already had your person, now it's
and it just
life.
didn't work out.
Yeah,
now
yeah.
it's just life and lust. You know what I mean? Whatever turns from there. But like at the end of the day, it's like what we've built together. It's like it can never be replicated, right? Like I could go and you could go find another boyfriend, and I could find another girlfriend, but it's not going to be modified Frankie. And he's not going to be heavy to modified. You could bring him on your journey. I could bring her on my journey, but it's still not modified Frankie and heavy to modified.
Yep.
And that's something that, you know, my best friend Daniel, which his birthday's tomorrow, so happy birthday.
We have him on again.
And yeah, is that like, he told me like, and this is where I even got a podcast idea, or a group Zoom call idea from, is that we focus on the 20% we don't have instead of 80% we do. Right? And when you start focusing on the 20% you don't have, and you leave or you lose or you push away
Your 80%.
You're going to be unhappy with that when you go find that 20%, because that 20% is missing that 80. And that 80 was more important than that 20.
Yeah.
Hopefully you guys got all that. And
but
like I said, but there's no blueprint to this. I one day woke up and said, I'm going to kill myself or I'm going to lose weight.
Yeah.
I'm going to literally take this Glock 22 and I'm going to end it. I still have it. Or I'm going to get my shit together.
Yeah.
And through prayer, and well, not prayer, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I didn't pray. Through dreams, messed up dreams, and
that's a form, honestly.
That was God just like, hey, chill the guy. But through all that, it turned into what we built today. And I'm not going to sit here and say that it's been the easiest thing,
or that it's been perfect,
or it's been perfect,
or it's been linear.
No, it's been rough. But I will say this: I will literally do it again and again and again, because even though I've had some pretty dark days over the last year, the last court date was this time last year for my dad.
Yeah.
Right, and then we had our shit, and then me and Big John. And then it's some family shit, and then more family shit, and then a lot of different things. And I still would go through all that again, because it has made me a stronger person. It's allowed me to build resilience. It's allowed me to become more of a leader, and it's allowed me to build like grit. Like I've been like dragged through the mud the last 12 months.
That's an understatement for sure.
But I would do it again, because the old me would have folded. The old me would have quit. The old me would have been poor me. The old me would have blamed my upbringing. The old me would have said, well, people just don't like me. What I've been through now is like, motherfucker, you're complaining because I had to talk to 28 people when 2 days prior, I was called and told my dad was stabbed to death.
Yeah.
So you're going to sit here and tell me that you can't do this. Or, oh, you're upset because of X, Y, Z. I was just called a fucking nigger by family members. And I still had to show up for myself, and I still had to show up for people. And yes, it's pretty harsh to hear, but at the end of the day, it's this. No one could say that I've had it easy. And so when someone says, oh, well, this is hard, I'm like, motherfucker, it's supposed to be hard. It is supposed to be hard, because I've been punched in the dick. I've been dragged through the mud. I've been kicked in the face. And I still had to not only bring myself up, I had to bring you up and anyone who was in my circle. So I would do it again. I would do it again, because it's going to make my book so much better.
Yeah. I'll agree, because I feel like everything, as much as it's hurt, and we've been through some shit where you really can't come back from.
No,
you know,
some bridges are now done
that you really can't come back from, and I can't express enough how much it sucks, but I would go through that all over again to learn everything that I need to learn and to be where I'm at right now. Because right now, I'm at a place where I feel so complete as a person and also so secure in you and I. It just reinforced everything, because no matter what life throws at us, we continue to be like, you good?
we do our.
We good?
You good? You good? Okay, we're
We
good.
good?
Let's go.
Okay, we're gonna keep going.
Yeah,
Got it.
And I'd rather be us, myself, individually, yourself individually, us together, that has a platform to speak to people, than someone who doesn't have someone in their corner, and someone who doesn't have like the grit or the resilience to push forward. Because there's also people. Let's not forget how many people commit suicide a day, male or female.
Yeah.
Let's not forget how many people think that their life is so far gone that they give up.
Or they look at people on TV or social media, even like us, like they're so perfect.
I don't know
like
what the
their
fuck I'm
life
doing.
has
I'm telling you
to
now.
be perfect. And
Fuck no.
I promise you, you're probably better off than we are mentally. But the only
mentally,
thing,
no. Mentally, wait, hold on.
With what we deal with.
What
Okay,
we deal
with what we
with,
deal
yeah,
with.
it's crazy.
But we just choose to be like, okay, fuck it. What's next?
Well, you
fuck
know,
it. What's next?
I've realized that every single hard day is a learning experience, and I preach it to my clients, and I have to live it. So I rather over the last 12 months me went through it than one of my clients.
Yeah.
Or I rather myself went through the last 12 months of what I went through, and I get to share it to my clients. Or I get to share it on this podcast.
Yeah.
Because people are like, wait, what? You were called the N-word by family, by people that you trusted? Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and it doesn't feel good, but at the end of the day, that word was called to ignorant. It meant ignorant. The last thing I am is an ignorant person. I think the ignorant person is someone that will use that word, right? But at the end of the day, it's all part of my story, and it's all part of my book, and it's all a chapter that has now been closed.
Yeah. And every hard thing that you go through, whatever it is, I feel like what's very important is to analyze, not live in it for too long, but analyze also what your part in it was. So you no longer put yourself in that situation, even if you were quote unquote the victim in the situation. Find out what you did to add to that, to be in that position, even if it was a good thing or well-intentioned, whatever. What did you do?
Where's your
put
accountability?
Yourself in that situation? We're not doing that again.
Yeah. And then we want things to be easy, but at the end of the day, the reason why you're following us, the reason why you're on a journey, the reason why you're losing weight, the reason why you're in debt, the reason why you're unhappy with your body, your mindset, your life, is because it was easy. Think about it. How hard was it to get fat?
It wasn't hard at all.
How hard was it to go in debt?
Easy.
How hard was it to stop at the gas station and get chips?
As easy as it was to
How
swipe.
hard was it to freaking cuss out the person that cut you off?
Too easy.
How hard was it not to track your food? How hard was it not to go to the gym? How hard was it to not become better? Now flip it around. How hard was it to go to the gym? It was hard as fuck.
Yeah.
How hard was it to track your food? It was a pain in the ass. You get what I'm saying? But the hard things in life are what we're missing in order to become better. And we don't believe that, but coming from someone who has literally, it's coming from people who have dug themselves out of holes that we personally thought were maybe too big for us. The hard things are what make you a freaking warrior. And I know so many people say it, but I genuinely mean it from the bottom of my heart. When you are going through a hard thing, when you are doing something difficult, when you're tracking your food, when people are laughing at you, when you're showing up to the gym, when you don't believe in yourself, when you are doing things that other people think is stupid, when you are stepping outside your comfort zone and posting on social media, or going for a job that maybe they think you're not ready for yet, or you're going to school for something that maybe, people think may be too difficult for you. Like, you are in the middle of becoming a badass. And the reason why people are saying it's too hard, because they've already given up on themselves.
And I think you need to reevaluate that room that you're in. If you're feeling like you're doing something wrong, or you feel like you're being shamed for doing something better, you need to reevaluate. Maybe that's not the crowd for me in that circumstance.
The biggest thing that I've learned from hanging out with Daniel and Chris and even, Tyler up on Big Bear, and Micah from First Form, and even Nick from First Form.
He still checks up on you.
Jonathan, Garrett, Nate, Dez. Some of these people who I haven't been known for longer than a year. Comparison to people I've known for like in the same circle or family or what you would call family, I guess, or whatever it might be. The difference from those people I named and people and the other people is that the people who I named who have built something for themselves or overcame hard shit, when I talk to them, it's like, fuck yeah, you could do it. And when you talk to other people that haven't accomplished shit, it's always a complaint. It's always oh, well, what about this? Or I don't do this because of that.
I wouldn't do that because of
or
this.
I wouldn't do that because my friend told me that blah, blah, blah.
I wouldn't waste my time
I
with
wouldn't waste my
this.
time with that. I would probably go and you know what? The biggest difference
It's
is
energy
this.
sucking.
It's energy sucking, but it's also this. It's a person that is going to find the negative in everything because they know that in their deep down their soul, they can't accomplish it.
And the shit is they probably could if they believed in themselves.
Well, if they just do the work. Everyone wants to be easy. Why do you think there's more people that do the lotto than freaking go to school? Think about it. Why?
It's easy.
It's easy because one person out of a billion people is going to win something, right? Why do you think there's people gambling their freaking last $50? Because it's easier to gamble with $50 than to go make another $50, go work for another $50. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, that's the lifestyle that we live in, and we don't understand this, that you are your surrounding. If you surround yourself by unlike-minded people, if you surround yourself by people who put themselves in a box, if you surround yourself by people that gossip and talk shit and that are fat and lazy and miserable and in horrible relationships and on EBT for no reason other than they're lazy and just constantly just sucking the energy from you, then you are going to be that person.
Inevitably, you're going to end up being put in that position because you are what you surround yourself with.
Everyone's heard this before.
What?
My grandma used to say this all the time, and I say, well, that doesn't.
I feel like I know what you're going to say.
Show me who your friends are, and I'll show you who you are.
Yeah.
That is the realest thing that I've ever, that's the realest sentence I've heard and came to realization over this last 12 months of my life, right?
Yeah.
Over the 12 months of my life, I did not believe it until I was 35 years old, from 2024 to 2025.
I've only thought about this recently because remember, and I didn't know why, but now I do. Remember you would tell me a lot before, oh, why don't you have friends? Right? Why don't you hang out with people? And I didn't really know how to gather the thoughts, but it was because I didn't have people that I knew, no shade though, that understood what I was doing. Because for in life in general, right? Especially with our career. So it was really hard to, say, for example, call a friend and be like, oh, I'm stressed out because I have to learn. Like, say, for example, we're doing now, I don't know shit about doing a nonprofit. Be like, oh, why are you doing that? Because they don't know either, right?
But then when you call Yvonne or you call Angel or whatever it is.
But now I have people that, and this comes to mind just the other day when we went to the baby shower with Petra. Petra is a dear friend that we met a year and a half ago probably. And we met her just because she asked you if you wanted to get your teeth done,
She's been trying to get me down there for almost a year.
So that's how we know her. So we just showed up and we thought we were going to do some collab. And she didn't even have her camera set up or anything. And I'm like, hey, where's your setup? Where's your ring? And she's like, I don't have it. And I was like, well, I thought this was a collab. She's like, no, girl, you're fine. And then from there, like, I got to know her. She's an amazing person. But because she doesn't do the same thing that we do, but she is an entrepreneur in her own right. She does her own thing. But for me to be able to tell her, like, oh, I'm starting on, like, she's like, oh, what's new with you? I'm like, oh, I'm starting, this nonprofit. She's like, hell yeah. And she's like, and have you looked into this, into that? And I'm like,
linked you with a couple of girls.
These are my people. Yeah. And she's like, hey, before you leave, I need to introduce you to this person. Hey, come here. I need to introduce you to this person.
And didn't one of the girls have like 1.8 million followers, something like that?
Yes, she's very, very popular on social media. And to me, I was just like, I felt seen for a second. Understood. Because other than me and you, and now like Des and them, right?
Yeah.
But I felt so, yes, but I felt so like alone, alone because like I felt like that I only had you to understand like, all the stuff that we do and that people can't even think of, right?
Yeah.
And if I were to tell Daniel, hey Daniel, because we're starting a new business together, and he's like, well, what do you need me for? I'm like, I know exactly what I need you for. I know, like, once we establish this, I need your brain to figure out how do we get this in Miami and New York by every airport. And I'm like, for me to even say those things and believe those things is crazy, because I've never thought like that. I've always thought small because I felt like I could only do small.
Yeah, and it took, it took a long time to build that in mindset in both of us, because you thought of an idea, I went out there and thought big, and now I have an idea, now you're the one thinking big. You know what I mean? So it's amazing to see, but it's so funny that you bring up the Petra thing, because I felt the same way. I'm like, crap, like so many people here are successful in their own ways, and when people are listening to this, I'm not thinking about successful money. Like, just like their own success, like a business owner, a girl who makes candies, another girl that does eyelashes, owns her own business, has 2 studios. Francine over here does, the whole behind the scenes of my brand. Like, seeing her like talk with, like, you left me. Normally I leave you and go talk to the people. You left me on the table eating some freaking bomb ass
like,
food.
Here, I need to introduce you to this person.
Yeah, and I loved every second of it, because that's the boss lady that I know. And now Petra and everyone else got to know, and you left your mark of who you were. Right? So as we're sharing these conversations, just know that this is taking years. Me and Francine have been together since we were 22 years old.
Yeah.
22, right?
21,
22.
Right after 21.
Yeah, right after, there you go, 21, 21, right? So, and it hasn't been perfect. No. It's been ups, and there's been a lot of downs. There's been tears. There's been laughs. There's been lessons.
Second guessing, like, hey, like, well, are we still...
There's been breakups.
Yeah.
There's been trauma.
But it's never been messy between us. That's one thing I'll say, that even times where, like,
no one ever
we have taken a break before, you would have never known. And we don't post subliminal stuff on Instagram or anything, because no matter what, we've always decided unfollowed either. We've always had...
I want to know where you're at. I still got your location.
Shut up. No, the times that we've had to, like, take a break in a second to
figure everything out.
Just figure shit out right on our own. See, like, hey, like, let's take a break, step back for a bit. No matter what, we always had each other's back.
Always.
And we always said, like, hey, if in this break you decide you're going to XYZ whatever, I better not see you post anyone. Same here.
I just want to say something real quick.
And we better tie up some loose ends.
Like when we first started,
yeah.
I want to say this, though. You know what I mean? And we have our own podcast about that later, right? Because it was a learning experience. But we had each other's back so much when we were not knowing where we're going to be in the next couple of months or in a couple of weeks, a couple of hours. I was like, look, I want you to keep building what you are building, and I need you to get your surgery. I still need you this. If we're going to be broken up, you could stay in the room. You could still live here. I'll pay for everything. I just need you to get your shit together. And I think you thought I was the craziest person in the world, but it's like, when
your mom calling me because I was like, you know what? No, I think I need to go. We actually need like actual separation. I was like, get your ass back, I'm driving away, and his mom has always been like our number one supporter, but like even individually, right? Yeah. And she calls me and she's crying. She's like, I'm so heartbroken. And she's like, I'm gonna get you an apartment. I'm like, no, I left with all the money. I have all the accounts. Like I have the truck.
Yeah, I was nothing. I left me with another with a wet ass.
And she's like, what do you need from me? So I'm always gonna be thankful for your mom when it comes to like having my back as Frankie, not as your girlfriend or your significant other. Like she's a girl's girl. Like she always said, no matter what, my son is my son, and I'm going to love my son, and I'm always going to take care of him. But how can I take care of you?
Yeah.
I think that's like the coolest shit.
I think that everyone knows what we build, and obviously, some things do come to an end, but things don't have to come to an end. Mm-hmm. And I think that's more of just like, it's either like you grow from it or you break. And I think we've grown from so much. It's just like, it has made us stronger. And we
100%.
We are in sync right now, right?
Yeah, it's
pretty cool. It's pretty cool to be in sync right now. Like, for instance, like you knew that my wit's end was getting very close to not having an apartment. And then we went, and just hear me out too, right? When we're going to get this apartment. So I'm going to tell you right now, we got an apartment. It's amazing, people. I'll show you guys soon on one of our vlogs. Don't forget, we post vlogs on Wednesdays.
All we have to do for it
is
what?
The same thing that happened to this apartment happened to Vegas apartment. We walked in. I didn't even finish looking. I was like, this is it. And you said, this is it. And we didn't look anymore. And the same thing with this one, because We are just
It
so in
is so
sync.
our
Like,
vibe.
yeah, it's 100%. And
We walked in and we looked at each other like,
I was like, I don't have to. Once I walked up to the loft, I was like, yeah,
that's
it's
it.
a wrap. How much more I got to make? What I got to do? Right. But at
I
the end of
looked
the
at him
day,
like, can we get it?
yeah, at the end of the day, that's what we do it for. Right. We do it
For each other.
for each other. I do it to give you the life that you deserve, and you cushion my steps. So you give me the life that I deserve, so I could give you the life that you deserve, right? That makes sense. And people can't comprehend that because so many people are in such messed up relationships, and their thought process so misconstrued.
I think it's, what is it called?
Misconstrued or whatever it is.
Misconstrued, yeah.
Where they don't even know what a good relationship is, because if
That
you're in
sucks,
one,
though.
well, it sucks for them, but not for us, and that's not our job. Look, if you guys want to become relationship coaches, let us know. We'll go to school for that. Other than that, we're not a relationship coach.
Yeah.
I'll tell you this: we don't know what the fuck we're doing, but we made it this far,
But we just know we have each other's back, together
and
or
that's
not.
it. And that's why we're posting this podcast on Wednesday. Happy birthday to my best friend. Love you, big dog. But the reason why is because this needed to be talked about before we move forward. So let me go in and say a couple of things for those that made it to the semi-end or where we're at in this podcast.
I think this one might be a long one, huh?
Yeah, it is. But hear me out.
Wow.
Moving forward, we are taking our podcast 100% seriously. Moving forward, I'm going to be even more blunt than I was before. Moving forward, we are building a team, not just me and you, but a team of other people that's going to be helping with this stuff. I will be investing our money into building the correct team, and you guys are going to see a big shift, and we will hit 100K this year. I'm going to say now. I
Yes.
messed up though, because our goal was 100K, and I've already pretty much lost 7 months of that. So now I'm about to work double, triple overtime. But what we're going to do is that we're going to get it done. And when I start something, I will not finish it. And I want to personally apologize for every single person listening, every single client. If you felt that we left you hanging.
Because we did.
And that I will take accountability that that's never okay. I am someone who leads. I'm not someone who talks. Frankie is someone who leads, not just someone who talks. There's enough people that talk about doing shit. We want to be the people who actually do it. So we will take accountability, and we should have been documenting everything as we're going through it. But we are 100% new to most of the shit that we're going through.
But also, you've always been a big advocate, and people that have followed you or us for a long time, you've been the biggest advocate of saying you're never going to talk about something until you've overcame it, so you can say what you've learned from it,
Yeah.
or what you could have done better, or what you did good at.
100%, but I still need to know that there's still things to get done while I'm going through stuff. And I think I lost focus on that. I lost track on that. Not saying that it wasn't time needed. It was just I stayed too long at that pity party when I should have just visited it. 24
So, like,
hours.
don't live in it,
Don't
just-
live in it. Just visit, right? Just pass
Scope
by,
it out
use
real
it,
quick.
scope it out, say hi.
Spin the
Remember
block
this
for a
boss, spin the
second.
block, and got a dip. So, and that is from me to everyone listening. Moving forward, Mondays will be podcasts, Wednesdays will be vlogs, and Fridays will be podcasts. Our goal is to do 2 vlogs and 2 podcasts per obviously YouTube, and then
Right now, let's be consistent.
but we're
with
being consistent with the 3, and then we're going to crawl before we walk. We have a team we're being built, and we just want to document and share and bring light to everything that is weight loss and in changing your life around, whether it be physically, mentally, emotionally, financially, spiritually. This is all stuff that there's no book for. There's no blueprint. I mean, there's a blueprint, but not every single blueprint goes step by step
It doesn't
verbatim.
look the same for everyone.
It doesn't. So there's people on this path there that don't have an amazing, beautiful
Partner.
girlfriend, soon to be fiance, right? There's someone that doesn't have amazing, beautiful, good looking, handsome, beautiful smile, buff boyfriend like me. If you didn't know, I was talking about me.
Just
Supportive.
Take off your shirt.
I got abs. But regardless, we could bring value to anyone that is listening, because we have walked so many walks of life. That
And you get to learn from us before you make the same mistakes.
well, that's what we're here for.
So you can make
don't
new
be-
ones.
Don't get the 650.
Make new ones.
You make different ones, right? Or
Yeah.
don't make. That's what I told Daniel today. I call myself out, like, you know, you didn't get about the podcast, but it's one of those things where it's hard, straight up. Like, I'm gonna be 100% real. Like, I know we make light of some things and we laugh at some things, but this shit is very difficult because people will let you down in the most dogged out ways, and you
And
have
they
to
don't
be
even
okay
see
with
how
that.
they do it.
And they don't. No, they don't care.
Damn.
It's not that they don't see it. It's that they don't care, because at the end of the day, you're only as good as the value you bring to someone. And once your value is no longer brought to them, now you're no longer good to them, right? You're like a tool that's shiny. And once you start getting a little bit of rust, you're no longer good.
Yeah.
Now, at the end of the day, those are people that you probably never wanted in your circle in the first place, but you wouldn't know until you go with the situation. I mean, you invested time into me. You kept me on a path. You supported me when other people didn't. You pushed me on days I didn't want to go. So, I
invested into you because because I believe in your crazy talent. And no matter what, like it wouldn't have been, even you're like, you didn't think weight loss. No, I didn't think weight loss specifically, but I've always believed in your talent to do whatever you're interested in. So one, because I believe you. Another reason is because I genuinely love you as a person, as my partner, and I don't want to get fucking emotional.
Don't you dare.
Also because I know the kind of life that I want to live. So if I can do anything for you to make me live the life that I want to live, I'm going to do it.
Well, we're doing it.
Because I'm not just going to be like, give me this, give me that. And then not help you give me those things.
Or expect me to be home at 5 in the afternoon.
No, be home whenever you need to be home.
As long as you're working, though.
Yeah, because honestly, this is one tip that I'm going to give anyone when it comes to having a partner that is high functioning or entrepreneur, whatever, that's not 9 to 5 or even, but that have goals, right? You need to really be on their team. They're not going to come home every night on time for dinner. And you need to be okay with that. And you need to also verbalize that to them, saying, I miss you, but I believe in what you're doing. What do you need from me? Because I've told you before, you when we moved here, you're like, babe, I need to let you know now, because you were communicating, which I appreciate. You're like, it's going to be long nights and I don't want to hear blah, blah. I'm like, I don't give a shit. You stay at the office as long as you need to be at the office. And if I miss you, I'm going to go look for you.
That's true. Now she has an office here.
True. But it still stands that I don't care if you need to be here 7 days a week, 20 hours a day. I don't care. If that's what's required for our mission, you're going to do that, and I'm going to facilitate that for you.
Take notes, ladies. Honestly, you did it. You're doing it. You know what I mean? There's a lot on the plate right now. There's a lot we have free. There's a lot of things we're going to be changing descriptions to everyone. So, we're going to put our free link for our free bi-weekly group Zoom calls.
Oh, yeah. So anyone is welcome there.
Yeah, anyone's welcome with that one. And then, obviously our coaching, we're doubling down the coaching now. There's a lot of different things, right? Nonprofit. I'm so excited to bring free surgeries to people who earned it.
We will have a podcast, and I would like to have, hopefully, my surgeon come on and talk with everyone, because he will be part of this nonprofit that we're going to be doing. Is me, you, and
we can't talk too much
couple other people that are very
I'm excited,
close in the circle, and it's going to change so many lives. And I'm so excited because, one, we've already experienced how life-changing skin removal surgery is. And to be able to give that to someone that maybe might not have the means to do that themselves.
That's going to be like, I'll cry. I'm going to cry.
That's going to be fulfilling for me, but life-changing for them.
Yeah. And it all started because we got our shit together. Like, there's people out there that think they're not capable of accomplishing anything, and all I did was not kill myself.
It's because we sacrificed.
No, I'm being serious. Like, it literally happened because I decided not to kill myself. I decided not to go through with my vindictive thoughts, my dark place, and it all started because you decided to follow along and hop on board and realize that healthy is better. Took a second, but you did it. So I want to end with this. You may think that you're not capable of accomplishing things. You may think that your friends and your family and your ex-boyfriend, your ex-girlfriend are right, that you are a loser or you are this. But at the end of the day, regardless of what you are today, doesn't mean that's going to be who you're going to be in the next couple months. Now, notice I didn't say tomorrow. Because people are like, oh, that's what you are today won't be. Yes, if you wake up, you're 650 pounds a day, you're going to be 650 tomorrow.
Maybe 649.
Right, but whatever it might be, though, you won't be that same person the next couple months if you start changing it today. And people are going to tell you that you're not capable because they know that they're not capable. And I know that everyone is capable of doing something, but let's be honest, some people are shut down. And those are not the people you want to take advice from. Just like you wouldn't go to a homeless person and ask them how to save $1 million. Maybe you go to a homeless person and ask them how not to become homeless, but you wouldn't go to a homeless person and ask them how to save $1 million.
Yep.
So you shouldn't be taking advice of someone that is broken, someone who has gave up, someone who has no grit, someone who has no confidence, has no hustles, no grind, no execution, not a leader. You should not be taking advice from them. At the end of the day, you are 100% capable of completing anything and accomplishing anything that's put in front of you, but it's going to take the work that other losers won't put in. Mm-hmm. So I'm happy to announce that we are back doing podcasts. Obviously, this is up on a
coming back.
this is up on a Wednesday, but I was so excited to hit the ground running that I wanted to get something up because
this was not planned.
This was us saying I'm sorry for being gone for a couple months, and it won't happen again because I'm a man of my word.
And we're in fighting shape.
Let's get it. So welcome back to Modify Your Life Podcast. And we'll talk to you next one.
See ya.
All this happened for myself and my family. There's no way that this is real, man, it can't be.